Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Khala from Linea, also known as CZT Anica Gabrovec. All right, this was a fun tangle. Time of this recording, it's Thursday, which means it's Tangle Time Day. For those that don't know, Tangle Time are free tangling sessions that I host online. They're free. And I do them 2 sessions, 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. My time. And right now it is Eastern Daylight Time. I always get the it's like going, is it Eastern Savings Time? I forget. However they do it. I'm in Michigan, so and we have daylight savings going on right now. So, again, free classes, come and join. It's a lot of fun. I'll show you what I ended up with from those, but we had a ton of fun playing with this. And because it's, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and I wanted to do something special for that. So, all right. This one starts off with an orb in the center of wherever you want it. And then we're going to have some smaller ones orbiting around this. I'm going to do 6 because that's what the step out calls for. You can do more because we had some really great results with people doing more than, and it's totally fine. These ones you want to have a little separation from that orb because we are going to go, we're going to do some aura-ing, so you need to have some space. And because we're doing 6, let's see, I do, what is this, 12 and 6, and then let's look at 2-ish o'clock, 4-ish o'clock. Same thing on the other side. All right, just to get them close to even. All right. Now, I turned it this way because on Linea's step out, it's kind of positioned like this, but, where these are kind of in line with that center orb. And she starts on this one. So that's what I'm going to do. Honestly, it doesn't matter, as I found out in one of my tries, but just for ease of everything, and that's the way the step outs are, that's what we're going to do. But know that it doesn't matter. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to do a curved line coming from the orb. And we kind of pass the next one and kind of in the middle of, of these two, but up here. Something else to keep in mind, we are going to work past this line, so you have to leave a little bit of room. All right, and another thing, use the takeoff and land concept so that way we're coming on the outside of this orb and we're curving around. It does help with the curve a bit. So the takeoff and land is where we're tracing over the outside of this orb like that. And then coming up like so. All right, then turning the tile. Skip an orb. Same thing. Like that. Skip an orb. And like that. All right. And we'll see. It's like, as I'm looking like, well, this is one of those that we just end up seeing what happens. Whatever happens is going to be cool. All right. Next, this is the part where we need to have room here and room here because we're going to aura this. So coming around, and it's a little bit different type of aura. We're not aura-ing the whole thing. We're starting here where around the orb where it connects to that curve line. So like that. Oops, that's a bit big, but that's all right. And coming around like this. Up and over. And this one, you want to extend it a little bit past that first one that you did. Okay? I would err on the side of going not long enough because you can adjust it as you go. All right, and then doing the same thing. This is a nice rinse and repeat tangle. Same thing around this one. And then the next one. like so. One thing I like about this tangle is, we're doing, is the rinse and repeat part of it. We're doing this, we do the stroke, and then we do it again. And then we're doing, we do the next one, and we do it around. And then this night, and I just like that about this versus a lot of little gaps to fill in. That's the challenge with doing a Celtic knotty type of tangle with just freehand, because there's, there normally is like a lot of planning. Oh, how is this going to connect to this? And a lot of filling in of little gaps and little spaces so it has that effect. I think it's absolutely brilliant. There are several tangles out there that create the effect without having to have any kind of graph or anything else, just being able to do it freehand. I think that it's just so brilliant. Okay, now we're going to take the orbs that are left, and going the opposite direction, same idea though. So we're going to do a curve line from this, and we're going to hollow bow underneath this that we've just created, and we're going to land here. So as I'm doing tangles, I'm always trying to think, okay, well, how can I make this make sense in my head so I don't feel like I have to look back at the step outs constantly. And that's what also helps with that repetition. And that's what, really makes it Zentangle, right? Is that repetition. So this one is obviously too close. We're not gonna meet up. So that rules that out. That's way too far away. And this one is just right. So same idea. Like I said, take off and land coming from the outside of the orb. And then we're going to meet it up with this one, or like this, if you get just close and you want to land there versus having it meet up, or you just don't for whatever reason, we can always carefully meet the two up. It's no stress. All right. And for this, sometimes it's nice because especially since we're meeting, it's like, okay, well, the curve's going to go this way, and you kind of air draw it for a minute. And then we'll get this coming, hollow bowing, and like that. Same thing. All right, that one not so much. There we go. There's always a way, right? There's always a way to adjust and things. Okay, next step, same as we did. We're going to aura this around, still hollow bowing and working to meet like that. And it is really nice. Well, I don't know that it's necessary. It is nice if you can have these the aura-ing, around the orbs kind of butt up. I've done some that did and some that didn't. It's not necessary. Just to let you know. Last one. Like that. Okay. This looks cool just as it is. But Linea has an extra step. I actually added, because of course correcting, I added a step. Because, well, and then from our sessions, there's some other things that could happen also. So she adds what looked like an aura first. But as I was looking at it closer, and some of them, let's do this one because this one is a little wonky. Some things seemed to line up and some things didn't. So what I found was it seemed like what she had, and hers is a lot closer together, that she had coming from this outside of this orb, and then from this outside of that orb, and made what was like a triangle inside each one, and actually, because we could, let me see, And well, one of the things that some folks did on our call today was hollowbound, although I have no room to hollowbound, so it's not going to matter. But so that way it makes a little triangle on the inside. Let's see if I can do this. This will be the first time I've done it if it ends up working out. And then because this, well, no, wait. Oh no, this is the wonky one. They're all wonky. I couldn't tell the difference. Okay. Okay. It kind of creates a triangle. I could put a little line here. So if I was hollowbowing this all the way down, I'd have a little bit of a line, so you could do that if you wish. But one thing that I found that worked out really neat was to kind of hollowbow from this line and just add a second one in here. And if they don't line up completely, that's okay. You can always sometimes, add a little like that, little weight. And like I said, this one, no, let's just do it. Like that. And what is neat is that it creates this. It's like, oh, look at how this goes. And the where does it start? Where does it end? We can't figure it out. And that's the neat effect that we have with this. And again, don't worry about, any wonkiness or anything. There are always ways to course correct or just make it look like, oh, I meant that. Some of the ways that we can do that is by filling in sections. And then two, and I should have said this before. Oh, wait, here's one that I was playing with. You could stop at the step here. And you could have fun with this just as it is and add some decoration in here. You could even aura the whole section and just decorate. Don't even have to aura it. You could just decorate. Completely up to you. Completely up to you. I had to practice doing it on some smaller scale because I was doing it large scale. It's a little different. What am I thinking? I don't know what I'm thinking. It's something that I well, it was one of those. I had this really great idea because usually I'll use a fill-in as a course corrector, but this, if you want to, you really can't do it with this, especially in these areas, because you'll lose, you'll lose the path. So you don't want to do that. But you could, do some things, say behind. It's completely up to you. A lot of fun. All right, so let me share with you some shading ideas, and then we'll show some more of the other. And who knows, I might come up with some. Well, you know what? Might come up with some extra decorating ideas. I'm thinking of putting say something in here. I just don't know what I want to do quite yet. I have an idea, and I'm not sure. I'm going to let it solidify here as I'm doing this. So focusing on where the over and unders, as I like to call them, and putting a little graphite on either side. As I spread it out with the Tortillion, that's where I'll find out where I missed. And, just bringing it up as far as you want to go into the space. And if you have small spaces, it's best to do, put your pencil, put your Tortillion on the line, on the area that you want this to be the darkest. And like I said, and I'm pulling it this way. Sometimes I don't pay attention to my own guideline on that, but that's okay. I take the risk. Because the risk is that you'll get the graphite where you don't want it. And that's why. And then too, it does keep it darker, because that's what I've heard Rick say, put the tip of the Tortillion or pencil where you want it the darkest. And that is another good way to think about it, because it's true. And because I kind of did it in a haphazard way, I feel like I missed. Yeah, or not. And it's just neat, and up to you, how far up, maybe these longer ones, well, it's not really coming up there. Up to you, how far you want to take it. You could put if you make this thick enough, you could put other patterns in there. You could fill it with orbs. Doodah is a nice one. Whatever your imagination, wants to put in there. I do think I'm going to fill in that center just because. Let's see, which way do I want to be? Well, not that way. Oh, this way is good. And let's put a little shine. And the other part of the shine. Like so. And yeah, I was thinking, could fill in those other holes, but here's my thought. If to really emphasize the Celtic knotty part of this, my thought is you'd want to probably do the same thing in the sections if you want it, so that way it really highlights. I don't know what you call it. The endless string that is there, a ribbon or, the whatever. That's what I'm thinking. But you can have fun with it however you wish. Now, here is one idea. Well, actually, let me just show this. This one I think was the best one that I did today. And yeah, I was like, well, I couldn't have planned that any better. Oh, one thought, and it kind of helped. It could help. This one I didn't do it with, though, which is why it was so surprising. You could place dots, and it would be here, to create the triangle aspect. So if you just put a very light dot, that you can then when you're doing that first stroke, you can kind of aim for it. That is something that could help. Like I said, I didn't do that. This one I decided to eyeball center when I did it. And so for the most part, it worked as I was doing it. And actually, if you think about it, it's also kind of in between these two orbs. So whichever one you're doing, let's see. I mean, that makes sense as long as your orbs are pretty even. But it's just a thought. Just a thought. But that one turned out rather neat. I was kind of tickled with that. Let's see. I did a bunch of them because one of the things that I make sure that everybody knows is if you need me to start over, of course I can certainly start over with these. This was on a prepped tile because we had fun with our prep tile class. Actually, this was an after the fact because we were experimenting with some new toys, and so that was fun on a green jelly plate printed. Tile. Actually, I think this was my wiping off paper, but yeah, it turned out really neat. And then just for an idea, so I used bead line on this one to because it ended up odd shaped, and somebody asked, well, what could you use for a border? Or something, to accentuate it. And I thought that this was a great pairing. There are a lot of other things that you could do. And beadline is it is a tangle. I know I have a video on it. It's not hard because it's just a squiggly line and then groupings of three little orbs, as you can see. And it just, like I said, it turned out really neat. And because I was using these Crazy Pop pens by Pentel, which, by the way, they change color on light or dark. or if you have a lot of it glopped together like this, so on the orbs you can see it's a different color, it's the same pen as what the regular line is. So they're really, really cool pens. But because like some of the metallic pens, or the Moonlight, say, pens from the Jelly Roll pens, if they'll go over the dark, then you could do this, and that's how I ended up with this, going over and under, and I did that afterwards by just drawing over. So just as a thought, you can have extra fun with that. But I really like how that one turned out. So yes, and I did a bunch of other ones, but basically just the shell like this. But anyway, fun tangle. It's one of those. It's not necessarily as hard as it looks to be. And, and once you get the hang of it, and definitely play with it, and don't, just keep trying, and don't, or I don't like I avoid using the word don't. It's really hard to do. But just focus on each stroke and see where it goes. And then whatever happens, and then have fun with it. And that's what Zentangle is about. So if you enjoyed this, and I hope you did, please click on the like button. If you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you subscribe to the channel. In the description section, you will find the links to the step outs. And again, I always do my own version and then link to the creator of the Tangle. So you'll see both of those. Below that, you will find my link tree, and that, by the way, it's a really, really neat program. If you're depending on, what you do, or, it's just a neat thing where you can put all of your pertinent links in one link and put it like on your signature line of your, emails and things like this. So it can house everything. I'm just by the way, they have a paid version, of course. I'm just using the free one. I like to experiment. It's so nice when companies do that. And that's why I also like to give them a plug now and then, because it is really, really neat. And there's a lot of neat customization features that you can use with their paid option. But it's such a neat program. And so you'll find everything there, links to my social media, website. So if you want to follow my blog, and that's where I will post the results, the screenshots and pictures from today's Tangle Time. Also, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, that's where I post those recaps there. So if you're subscribed, then you'll get, whether you get the notification or not, because you can always click off on the notification and just come, like I do that a lot, is I don't want my email blowing up. So I select not to be emailed, but then when I want to watch stuff, I go to YouTube, and in your who you subscribe to, it usually comes up first on your subscription list, with, I think, like the little red dot, so that way it shows you who has new content. But whatever way you like to do it is up to you. But that's where I post them first. Also, if you happen to be on Facebook, follow me there. Number one, I have a link to my page. And if you want to be a part of a community of tanglers, we'd love to have you join our Tangle family, as a lot call it. There is a link to the private Facebook group. There are 4 questions that you have to answer in order to gain entry, just so you're aware. We have a lot of fun, and it's like I said, it's an amazing group of people that have been gathering over the last, I don't know how many years, and it's a beautiful community. So come and join us. Let's see. Everything else there is pretty self-explanatory. There's places to follow me for classes. Unfortunately, right now, my website is not the place. You can see the classes that I do. A lot of them are free. Like I said, these Thursday Tangle Times are free. I do have some that are paid, though, so that way, if and you'll see the list on the classes link on my website. If you want to just buy the replay, you can. But if you sign up for a paid class, just as a by the way, because I don't think I've ever put that on here. I do put it in when I list them, but I always give you option to attend, either session, both sessions, and then you get the replays afterwards. So if you can't make it, but you want to get those replays, then they are there for you. And you can just purchase the replays outright. All right, so with that, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.